Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and today I'm going to review the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray edition of Don't Breathe 2. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. You can also find me over Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Movie Guy 365. Okay, Don't Breathe 2 is here on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, released by Sony Pictures. It comes in a standard slipcover edition, which is available at all your local and online retailers. Now, as far as the film itself, when it comes to the original Don't Breathe, I thought it had a very interesting premise. Stephen Lang made for a great antagonist, and it had some good atmosphere. It was creepy. It had, I would say Lang's performance, of course, is the most standout of that film. So that being said, if you're going to have a sequel, kind of have to turn him into somewhat of a protagonist. And, for me, that was a weird transition. Considering what happened in the original film, making that transition was a little bit jarring, and I never really quite settled on it. It has nothing against Lang. In fact, I feel like he makes a great villain, but trying to turn him into a hero for the sequel, there's some morally bankrupt characters in the whole film altogether, but I don't feel ultimately it matches the first movie. I think the first movie was, great for what it was, but, for the 5-year later time jump that we get in this one, there's some things that just didn't work for me. But I think if you're a fan of the first film, it's worth watching at least once. Once again, Lang is being the standout performer here. He makes a great creepy blind man, or Norman as his real name is. But yeah, it's worth watching at least once. I'm not sure though that it would be actually something that you would go back to quite often. So that's just my opinion. But all right, we're going to talk about the picture quality and the audio in just a moment. But first, let's do a quick unboxing. Okay, we have the slipcover edition of Don't Breathe 2 on 4K Ultra HD. Oh, it's laying on the cover, so what more can you expect here? And then we have the back and the spine. And same on the interior. And just artwork on the 4K disc, no Blu-ray included. So, yeah, overall, standard presentation. Now let's talk about the picture quality and the audio. Don't Breathe 2 on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray has a 239:1 aspect ratio. It is an upscale from a 2K digital intermediate with HDR10 for the grading. Now for the general look of the film, it was shot digitally and it does have a very clean appearance. The movie has a good atmosphere to it, and I think the overall presentation is very cinematic. For a movie that takes place 85% of the time, either during a nighttime or a dark interior, black levels better be spot on, and thankfully they are. HDR10 does a great job enhancing those aspects. Nighttime scenes look especially deep and inky at any given moment and appropriate. When it comes to shadow detail, I feel it's very strong. It contrasts the lighting sources very well, and I didn't have any issues with compression or anything to that degree. When it comes to color, the palette itself is a little bit bleak, especially during the opening daytime scenes. When Phoenix is running from the dog, you definitely get a good sense of the greens and browns at play, but there's not going to be any vivid lushness here. But later on in the film, when lighting plays a key part in some of the darker interior scenes, reds and blues really stand out very well. While the color itself is muted for the most part, I still think it's done very well with HDR. When it comes to the improvement in detail, there is a nice modest increase. Facial features, the stubble of beards for instance, any cuts and bruises look very good and well defined, and you definitely get a little bit of enhancement when it comes to skin texture. Clothing also benefits here, and some general aesthetics do as well. Don't Breathe 2 on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray supports a Dolby Atmos audio mix. Now, after watching the first film, I had high expectations on how a Dolby Atmos track would handle this kind of movie, and I definitely was not disappointed. This film is all about the atmosphere, so even the quieter moments, which there are plenty, you get that little bit of extra intensity when it comes to the surround sound speaker placements. There's a lot going on at any given moment, and I think overall it's a very well done track. The center channel handles dialogue clean and clear with no issues to report. And the front speakers, they sound fantastic. They complement the center channel nicely. And the mid-level and rear speakers, this is where the fun begins. There's a lot going on back there. Creaks and groans, footsteps, any kind of ambient or atmospheric activity. You are definitely getting a good boost in those speaker placements. Music also plays a nice key part. And when it comes to the height speakers, There's a good amount of discrete channel activity up there. You know, once again, footsteps, some kind of water effect. It really has plenty to do at any given moment, and it definitely does not lack for energy. And when it comes to the LFE channel, it's actually pretty boomy. There's some good aggressiveness there, and whether it's an explosion or something like that, I think it really handles itself very well, and you will definitely feel it in your seats. For the picture quality, I'm going to give Don't Breathe 2 on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray an A-. While the film itself is not aesthetically pleasing to look at, the 4K presentation definitely does it justice. Black levels are rich and deep thanks to HDR, colors are natural, and when it comes to resolution, there is a nice bit of extra detail. If you're a fan of the movie, the 4K presentation is definitely the way to go. For the audio presentation, I'm going to give this one a solid A. The Dolby Atmos makes for a great atmospheric experience. Everything up front sounds fantastic, and the surround sound activity is very dynamic. If you like the film, you should definitely enjoy what you hear with the Dolby Atmos. So that is my review of Don't Breathe 2 on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. If you're interested in picking this up for yourself, I will leave an Amazon link in the comments section. If you use it, it really helps out the channel. But if you have the 4K disc already, let me know your thoughts down below. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.